Jurassic Park is rowdy in Toronto. Looks like the dead of winter. A lot of winter up there in the 6th. Philadelphia, Toronto set to get the second round of playoffs started this evening. You can see that game on TNT at 7:30. Joel Embiid averaged 26 points, almost 12 rebounds a game against the Raptors during the regular season. Let's welcome in Greg Anthony, our analyst for tonight's TNT game. Okay, so GA, Joel said that he's expected to play more minutes after just playing 24 in round one. What's the latest on his situation?
All systems go. Just spoke with Brett Brown a little bit ago, and remember that series. There were two games that were pretty close, but for the most part, the Sixers in the games he played were able to take care of business, and that also had, I think, an impact on the amount of minutes. But I do think in order for them to win this series, have any chance of winning, he's going to have to play a tremendous role. I think you'll see his minutes up around that 32 to 34 range. Now, keep in mind also, you're not playing back-to-backs. There's going to be more opportunity to rest within the series, which I think helps him and obviously helps the Sixers as well.
Hey, GA, Caron Butler here. Is there a key matchup in this series that can really swing it for anyone? Like I know you got one in mind. I know we think alike in this space. So who you got?
Well, I'm gonna give you this one. The biggest matchup for me is Brett Brown and Nick Nurse.
Ooh.
I really feel like that is going to determine the winner of this series. Who makes the best adjustments game to game? Who has the best game plan? Who has a sense of what they need to do in that moment? I think the coaching in this series, more so than any other in some respects, is going to determine who wins it. Because of all the things that have happened over the course of this season. You look at these two teams, they are wholly different from where they were at the start of the new year. Because of the trade deadline acquisitions that were made, the impact that those guys are having, how it's changed their rotation. So for me, Nick Nurse and Brett Brown, man, I think those two guys and their staffs are going to have far more impact on a series than you would ordinarily have just because of the circumstance.
Hey, GA, Billy King here. Looking at it, did Brett Brown talk about turnovers? They averaged 22.5 this year against Toronto. Ben Simmons, I think, in game one of their game earlier this year had 11. Another game he had 7. So did they talk about turnovers and trying to limit them?
Absolutely. And you know what, Billy? I asked him the two biggest concerns coming in. He said our defensive transition, one, and turnovers. Remember, Toronto is number 1 in the league at points off turnovers. They are the best. When you look at how long and athletic, when you get Siakam and Kawhi Leonard, those guys also lead the league in deflections. So if they're able to disrupt your rhythm and get out in the open floor, you are in for a long night. Ben Simmons averaged 8 turnovers a game during the regular season against this Toronto team. So he's going to have to be much more sure with the basketball. And I go back to last season. Philadelphia won a first-round series. They played against a Boston team that was just more physical. Well, guess what? Toronto is a similar type of team. They're a very physical team. They're not going to be switching a lot. They like to keep bodies on bodies. And so let's see how much growth has Philly had from a season ago, because they're going to have a similar dynamic that they face with the Raptors.
GA, you mentioned that growth. A guy to pay attention to, Joel Embiid, again, has struggled against Marc Gasol, averaging 14 points over 4 turnovers, shooting 34% from the floor in those head-to-head matchups against Gasol. I mean, they haven't met since Gasol got traded to the Raptors as far as Gasol and Embiid head-to-head, because he sat out that first matchup. But what do you make of that? Why does Embiid struggle against Gasol so much?
Well, first of all, Marc Gasol is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Marc Gasol has been Defensive Player of the Year in our league, and it was a part of those grit and grind teams that were a defensive-oriented bunch. So he's a terrific defender, and I think some of that also goes on Embiid, in that sometimes, and Billy and Tough Juice will tell you, sometimes Joel will fall in love with jump shots and not get 2 feet in the paint. And I think if he settles at all, that's a win for Marc Gasol. I do expect Joel to be better in this series, but it's not going to be easy. It's not just going to be Gasol. Remember, he's going to be matched up with Ibaka a lot in this series, and because both guys play differently, it actually creates a challenge for Joel, because he doesn't get that consistent rhythm. you know, you're going to be defended a lot differently when Ibaka's on you as opposed to Marc Gasol. But listen, Joel Embiid is as dominant a guy as we have in our league. He's gaining experience, and I think he's going to learn from what happened over the course of the regular season with Marc Gasol and what happened to him last season in the postseason against Al Horford.
Hey, GA, one more thing. Congratulations to you and the family, Cole, Anthony.
Yeah.
Hey.
What?
Why we got to go there?
Appreciate that.
Hey, we're friends. We're almost like family here.
Okay.
We got to say congratulations to GA, you know?
I'm happy
Yeah,
you're
we
Tar
kept
Heel.
it in the ACC.
Okay,
Billy, we kept it in the ACC. And, hey, I got to give a shout-out to my man, Tough Juice, man. The Juice Buds, man.
Hey, come on, man.
My
You know I
family
had
loves
to take care of you,
On the
brother.
real, man. We've been killing those, man.
I got to keep the packages
continue
coming. I got
success.
you.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. Love it.
All right, GA, looking forward to seeing you on the broadcast. Thank you, my friend.
You got it, guys.
So in 3 head-to-head matchups with Kawhi Leonard, Ben Simmons averaging 8 turnovers a game. Let's say that again. 8 turnovers per game. Billy, what do you make of that?
Well, a lot of it is Ben is not looking to the basket when he's penetrating. He'll start driving the basketball, and he's not looking at the basket. You see on this dribble, he's going, pushing it, but he's not even looking at the rim. And there you're all, like you talked about long arms. GA talked about long arms. They're there deflecting the basketball. When he penetrates, you'll see him. He's going to go in the post here. He's going to catch it in a great position. Just shoot a baby hook right here. He's not even looking at the basket. There's 3 defenders. He's trying to make a pass to Dario.
Yeah.
It's a turnover. You've got to look at the basket, try to put pressure, scoring the basketball rather than always looking to make passes. Right here on the out of bounds, you've got a ball fake if you're taking the ball out of the bounds. They're playing you for the pass. And on this one, you can't be trying to go behind your back against Toronto. Kawhi and those guys are too good. They're going to be all over the floor. Ben's got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. If he's the point guard and you're giving up 8 turnovers a game, that's 8 possessions you don't have. In the playoffs, you can't afford to give up 8 possessions like that.
I feel like nobody's mastered the art of KYP better than Kawhi Leonard. And look.
He was all over that.
Yeah, all over that. And look, he knows his personnel extremely well. So when you have a guy like Ben Simmons that you know not going to shoot the ball, and you can play and pack the paint as much as possible, therefore he's going to be a liability out there. So you have to be a threat. You got to look at the basket. You have to be okay with missing the shot and the opportunity. Otherwise, it's going to amount to a turnover and end up in transition for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard averaged 4 steals a game in this series. So certainly the stats back up how incredible he's been on defense.
You know, the difference between him and Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, is when he's going to dunk and try to finish when he's going to Ben's always going to pass the basketball. If he wants to be successful in Kawhi, he's got to look to score. You're 6'9", try to dunk, try to get fouls, and then those passes will open up because everybody's playing him for the pass first, shot second.
A guy who definitely is looking to score when he gets the ball anywhere near the basket, LaMarcus Aldridge for those San Antonio Spurs. Slow and steady, winning the race. Will he be the key? Let's take a look at your full playoff bracket. Only one first-round series is still being played. The Spurs and Nuggets will tip off their Game 7 tonight at 10. Let's take a look back at the Spurs. Pascal Siakam and Kawhi Leonard combined to average 46 points per game against the Philadelphia 76ers this season. A lot of those came in transition. Here's Brett Brown on what the key is to slowing down that attack.
I mean, it starts with turnovers. They're so connected, and any coach will tell you there aren't many transition defensive drills that you can do that are that successful after a turnover. And assuming that you didn't turn it over, then it's one of the areas that we have great respect for the Toronto team in how they run after misses, just the commitment of running after misses. And they're unique in that they also run after makes. And when you really sort of study the pieces, again, assuming that you didn't turn it over, things like high outlets. Marc Gasol is a tremendous sort of high outlet guy. I think that their wings are committed runners. I think that their point guards are unselfish passers, kick-ahead guys. And so, quite possibly the first 4 to 6 seconds of a shot clock might be as important as anything in this series, defensively.
Toronto-Philly, Game 1. What's your prediction, Karan?
I got the Raptors. I think the Raptors find a way to impose their will on this game and jump out and get a quality win on and move on.
Well, the Raptors are 1-8 in game ones, so I'm going to go with Philadelphia, and I think their turnovers will be low in this first game. Wow,
that's a key stat there. Okay, other game tonight, Game 7 between Denver and San Antonio. What's your prediction on that one?
It's hard to go against Pop, man.
The second seed, most home wins this season, Denver Nuggets.
I hope the Nuggets win, but I got the Spurs.
San Antonio.
All right, the crew over on TNT taking over from here. Raptors 76ers tip off at 7:30. The championship trophy they're all chasing. EJ, Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny will continue to get you ready. We'll see you following the game.